Hey, thanks for waiting for us. Our guys we're still going through free agency, rookie free agency in there right now, just finishing up, and it's a really really intense period. Guys are doing a great job, but we're really excited about this class and ready to get these guys in here and get them to work. Ready to get going and have the coaches let them rip. Okay.
Okay.
Nah.
John, could you go through the process of Shaquem and having to wait for him, or was it kind of some nervous moments there waiting for him? Or?
Yeah, the first right when we started today, it was pretty nerve-wracking because Will is a guy everybody, our personnel staff, the coaches have really invested in and we've had a very strong interest in him, and we talk about our fit guys, and he's been a guy that we've been just very interested in for a long time. Obviously, able to spend a ton of time with him, and so that was pretty nerve-wracking getting there.
Yeah, it really was.
And then and then Shaquem, same thing. And then we knew we were just going to get rolling. And then after that, we knew it was going to go from the quiet zone to like it was going to be on after that.
With all the notoriety that Shaquem had gotten in the last couple of months, how much confidence do you have he'd still be there in round 5 after you took this, or was there touch and go?
No, not a lot. That's why we didn't want to talk about it last night.
Yeah.
How impressive has he been just in the process of getting to know Shaquem?
I mean, incredibly inspiring. I mean, really, one of the most interesting things about this guy as a football player is that he makes his plays at critical points in the game, and you can see it when you're watching film. But then when the analytics guys throw their numbers at you, you're like, wow, really impressive. And he doesn't miss any more tackles than the average, or than the linebackers in this draft. He's right in the middle, and then the rest of his stuff is just off the charts. All the boxes you check.
How would you guys describe the whole draft here? Elated, just what we thought. I mean, in a couple of words.
Well, I would say the first night was it was a fun night. That's the entertaining, red carpet stuff and all that. That was fun to watch with the suits people had on and stuff like that. Yesterday was it was a drag. The second round was pretty rough for us just because we didn't have a second round pick. And then things just kind of picked up for us, and we knew today was gonna be really exciting, and the room was awesome. Everybody was prepared. We communicated effectively, and we feel like we made great decisions all the way through, and we'll see how it goes. You always feel that way right after. You never really come out of it going, you know what, it's like kind of like a doctor. You're a doctor, come out of a surgery and go like, you know what, I don't know if they did such a good job.
Pete, where do you see Shaquem fitting in position?
We're going to play him at the weak linebacker spot and see how that works out, and give him a chance to run and chase the football that he's really adept at doing. We're going to count him to be a big factor in special teams, which he's shown us that he has a great knack for. We're going to try to put him in spots where we can utilize the great speed that he has, and he's as fast as you can get as a linebacker. I don't think it's going to throw us off that he's that fast, but we're anxious to see how it works and how it fits in with him chasing the football and all. So, and we'll see what happens from there. I would like to comment about about the impact of the process with him. I don't know that I've ever been in a more inspirational interview that we do at the Combine than that one. He was just so expressive and so open to tell his story and to tell what this opportunity meant to him in such a way that he moved us all. And we were just like those of you who have watched him. He's an extraordinary young man, and he has a lot of messaging that he's going to stand strong with, and that we're all going to grow from, I think. And aside from that, he's a really good football player. He's an explosive, talented guy, and he backs it up. I think probably the thing that was the coolest thing that happened at the combine is he said to us in our meeting, I'm gonna run faster than my brother. And when our clocks came off, our handhelds, he beat his brother's time, and we went nuts about it because he called it, and nobody thought he would be able to do that, and he called it, and so it kind of started the lore as far as we're concerned, about this kid, and so the rest of it's kind of history now, and we're really excited about getting him in. He'll be one of the guys in there battling. He'll be competing with the rest of us now.
Does his pass rush ability seem to translate to? Is that something you guys?
Yeah, he's a very good blitzer. He's a very, very good blitzer. He's explosive and dynamic in his blitz ability, so that spot will allow him to do that.
Like I said, in critical moments too. He's it's like 25% critical moments. It's like the third downs, which is actually outstanding when you compare him to the rest of the rushers in this class.
Sorry, John. His story and background, is there a benefit that he can have on other players in the program?
Shoot, the whole building.
Yeah, well, if he has any effect on other guys like he had on the coaching staff, I would think so. It's very unique, but it's also the connection between his brother and him, that they own this extraordinary connection that I think also is a demonstration of love and heart and all of the cool things about what they represent. And so but it'll come down to football. We'll be back to the football stuff, but I don't know that this story ever goes to rest, because it is about overcoming odds. It is about never giving up. It is about always seeing that he can turn the tide if you just give him one more chance. It's a difficult story when he tells it. You guys will, I'm sure, eventually will hear it all, but he overcame a tremendous amount by just believing in himself, and I think the belief of his brother in him as well, which is obvious, was also part of all of that. So it's a great story. It's just a great story.
I was wondering, does his brother, playing with his brother, that factor into you guys picking him at all? Was that
Well, only in that we know Shaq so well. I mean, I've sat right next to him every meeting of the year. And so I know the kid really well, and so I'm reading in if this kid's such a great kid.
Sure.
Yeah, for all of that. Yeah.
Did Shaq campaign at all for his brother with you guys?
Not really. I did not really. Other than just cheerleading for him during the year, and stuff like that.
Have you had brothers?
Excuse me.
Malcolm Smith,
Bless you.
Steve Smith on the same team before?
I don't know if they were there at the same time. I don't remember if that was. It was may have been 1 year of it. I don't know. But it was an obvious connection, just like that, though.
Any other brothers that you can think of that you've coached?
No, not really. Not offhand.
You two are so used to evaluating and coaching players and certain physical skills. Did you have to you look at him differently because he has one hand, or did you get through that to then just see him as a football player, or you always say, wow, not only is he doing this, but he's doing it with half?
Yeah, I mean, that famous quote, "It is what it is," right? Like, you have to, of course, you have to do the extra work on it. You have to study it. You have to, is he missing tackles? How's he taking people on?
Yeah, we looked at that very closely to try to determine is there a factor that makes it obvious that maybe we shouldn't take him and all that. We thought he overcame all of the odds and was able to make the plays. We'll learn a lot more, as we go. We'll find out.
Much very similar to the guys that have stenosis or are wearing the big neck rolls and stuff and look really tight. And how does that affect their game in space? And are they missing tackles? And so similar to that. That makes sense.
Going back to the fourth round and Disley, with wide tight ends, kind of blocking tight ends, are they getting hard to find, and how big is that hard?
Absolutely. Yeah, it has been harder to find. John's been checking it for years now. We have really had a difficult time finding the guy that can come in and do both, catch the ball and run some routes for you, but be a strong blocker. And it's been pretty well stated that we thought he was the best blocker in the draft, and for that reason we've tuned into him early, and we've been keeping our fingers crossed the whole time. That's why it was kind of nerve-wracking to wait it out, because we thought he really had a unique fit that he could add to our football team and make us better.
Probably the closest thing to Zach that we've seen.
Yeah.
Miller.
Pete, as much as you've wanted to fix the running game this offseason to get a running back in the first round and then add Disley to help you up front as well, how key is that for?
It's right on the mark. That's exactly what we hope to do. And we wanted to see if we could factor it in. We were thinking, that there was a good chance we might have a shot at running back because it was a great draft for those guys. And then Will was exactly attuned to that. And so and even in the off season and the things that we've done, there's a number of things that are leading to that. We give ourselves a chance to get better. There's no question.
Safe to say you guys feel good about your core 5, 6, 7 offensive linemen coming back to us at one this year as opposed to most years.
Yeah, and we're still.
I guess we're supposed to take a bunch all the time.
Yeah.
Every day we're supposed to be signing on.
We do feel better about those guys. We do have some returning sense and feel for one another and all that. There's still newness this time around, but it's a little different than it's been. We expect some of the young guys to really be competitive too, in the ranks of it all. So we think we have a good group.
John, the making the move up to get Michael Dixon and sort of how that plays out, and I guess John Ryan's future, how that fits in all that as well.
He was just too unique of a player. I had talked to his Tom Herman, and he was an MVP of a bowl game, and Matt Berry had been at the game and was like, "This is the best." He was the best player on the field by far that night, and it's a rarity when those guys stand out like that. And this guy, he first of all, we both love John Ryan, and
yeah, he's awesome.
This is all about competition. And there's been guys that have drafted, and I was with a team that drafted a punter in the 3rd round that completely failed. I was with a team that drafted a kicker and was beat out by a rookie free agent. So it's all about competition. But he is unique the way he can do stuff with the ball that we haven't seen yet. So we're really intrigued to see how that translates. His workout is one of the coolest things, one of the coolest. I'm not like a punter expert or anything, punters and kickers just like time and distance and right, but this guy does stuff with the ball. It's amazing.
I think it's fitting in that he is so unique that that we would get attracted to him. It's just kind of our ways, and he is a very unique kicker. I saw him drop kick the ball from 60 yards and on film. How does somebody do that? You don't see people that can do things like that. But his background has allowed him to be a special player that'll enter the competition. John Ryan's a great football player. We've loved John. This isn't a statement about that. It's just such a unique player. We thought we'd add him to the mix and let the games begin and play it out. And Johnny's up for that. He knows that, and he's ready for it.
Whose idea was the staring contest with him?
That's one of our guys that works for us. Dr. Gervais does that stuff.
You guys have tried sometime. It's
Yeah.
not easy, dude.
Is he the best you've ever had? Anyone now?
What's
Is
that?
he the only one you've ever had?
Staring?
Yeah, the staring
No,
contest.
we do it
Did
with
he
everybody.
succeed as well as anyone did? He said it took him the 3rd try to figure it out.
Yeah, I'll take him on anytime he wants.
Oh, okay.
You said he kicks it differently, the placement of the ball, the way it should be.
He can make the ball spin.
Yeah, he's
in
got
different
rugby.
directions.
He's got rugby background,
Yeah.
and an Australian kid, and where he comes from, and it just he brings to us techniques that we haven't seen people even try, and so the ball moves in different directions. He can do a lot of stuff. We'll see where it fits. We really have to kind of get on the field and get to work with him and see how that goes. But it's pretty exciting to see that we can grow and understand the game a little bit differently in terms of the care.
And he's real tough. He's competitive. He was gonna, they had a major storm that day when Brian Schneider went down with the other, several other special teams coaches to work him out, and they weren't gonna be able to punt, and the kid was just down in the dumps, and then he's it let up a little bit, and they went outside in some pretty nasty weather, and he was still crushing it.
You guys have made a lot of calls. I'm sure that's always a joyous moment to tell someone that you drafted. I'm
Yeah.
curious, was calling Shaquem, did that stand out? Just given everything he's been through, is that particularly special?
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, it did. It was emotional. Yeah, for all the obvious reasons. And we love, Shaquille, and knowing that what could come of this. And my partner here was kind of a mess, to tell you the truth, when he handed me the phone. So
I had to get off pretty quick.
So yeah, and it remains to be.
But he was totally fine. He had the situation at hand.
Was there someone that you talked to about Shaquem that told you something that maybe you didn't know about him or his life experience or something that really resonated?
I think the thing that stood out to me was somebody told me that they had sat down with him for 5 minutes, and they gained the same inspiration from him that they did the first time they were able to sit down with John Wooden for 5 minutes.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Did you guys feel any pressure to draft him? I mean, this was the fan base for 4 months has been saying, draft Shaquem, we want Shaquem, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, does that play into?
No, I mean, we knew it would have been a cool story, but
John, there's been a number of Australian kickers that have had success in the NFL as well. Is there something about the rugby Australian world background that comes
see, now you're asking questions. Like I said, I'm not a punter expert. No, I mean, they're just so talented with the ball. We had a guy in Green Bay that Pete's talking about the drop kicking. He would drop kick footballs from like 50, 60 yards. He'd just run and like from different angles, and he was kicking field goals. It was really cool.
The fact that Michael doesn't want to wear a helmet if he doesn't have to, I think says enough. You know, he'd rather play without it.
What do you guys see in Flowers that you like? Quarterback?
Yeah, this is a guy I really liked, and he's played over 3 years as a starter at Okie State at free safety, and I've had a chance, and as John has too, we've seen him play a lot of stuff, a lot of situations, a lot of different aspects of the game that he's handled well. Been a real good contributor there. The fact that he's over 6'3", and then he runs 4.4, and then he's got great length, and he's got ball skills, and he's a good tackler, and works hard at the game in general. You know, I'm just. He had a great workout with our scouts in
Aaron
on
Hyman
site.
worked him out.
Yeah.
Private workout.
Yeah, and that workout showed us some more of the change of direction stuff that would apply to the cornerback position. We want to give him a shot at that, and it just happens to be one of my real favorite attempts. We're going to take a guy from a different spot and move him and we'll see how he does, knowing that he's going to be a really good contributor in special teams with all the ball sense that he has and the awareness that he has. So he's got it's going to be really exciting to watch, see how that comes about.
Magoo, the quarterback, how might he fit your offense?
He's gonna be fun. Yeah, he's gonna be really interesting. His team really struggled this year, and but his arm talent is different release points, really cool. Very similar, and actually all his stuff. There's a category now called off the spot where you just watch this guy play where he's got to move. And of all the guys in this class, he was. Baker was first, which makes sense, you know, with his movement skills and his eyes. In terms of his completion percentage, it was 50. I think he was 58%, which is really high. This guy was 54. He was second, and then Sam Darnold was third at 48%. And he's playing. He had a ton of drops, and he's playing. He was in a new system. Norv Turner was there before, and then he had a new system that he had learned this past summer, and he's gonna be really fun. He's got a great attitude about him. Really cool kid. Great feet, great movement skills, tough, aggressive. We're excited.
How good is it, perhaps, have it?
And he was totally under the radar. I mean, as far as the quarterbacks go, he was an under the radar guy, really.
How are you anxious to now have a development guy for more than a couple of years at that position, perhaps, to bring him in?
I mean, he's got to come in and prove it.
He's battling too, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's nice to have
It's only the
young
second
guy.
quarterback we've taken, so yeah, it'd be nice to take a shot. Everybody was fired up.
He finally drafted one, John. What the heck are you doing, man?
Staff is fired up.
You could have drafted more. Why didn't you?
I know.
I don't get it. Jeez.
The read option that he did, was that have appeal to you guys?
To a certain extent, because it just shows the toughness and the athleticism. But you can also watch him do everything. You know, he's got a whole gamut of stuff that he's played in, and really right when we got here, you know, when Pete and I started working together, Pete was like, hey, you know, who the guys think about this, like, you know, I was pretty nervous, first draft, all that kind of stuff. Pete's like, just think about the dudes that you would want to go play in the park with. think about that, and this is one of those guys.
Where does Jamarco Jones project as a tackle? Right, left, right? Where does he need to work?
I was going to say, I think he went, was he project? I think he went in the 5th round.
Yeah.
That's right where we had him. No, left tackle. Pete left tackle. And George,
start him there.
George can play right. I mean, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, in fact, he
two-year
started
starter.
a couple years at Ohio State and held on to it against great competition. He looks very comfortable there. We'll move him around some to see what the versatility is, but it's great to bring him in as a left tackle candidate.
I guess the thought was he fell a little bit maybe because of the combine or whatever. I mean, what did you?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. But he's been working out with Charles Bentley, who a couple of our guys are pretty close with and have played. One of our scouts has played with him, so we had some really good information on how he's been working and improving since, and yeah. You know, some guys. I mean, not everybody goes to the combine and just totally kicks butt. So, you know, you have to rank everybody and grade everybody in the combine, and so some people were on him, I guess, for his combine.
With Magoo, the collarbone issue, how much did that kind of factor into the injury?
Yeah, I think it did with his spring. But if you just go, you know, with his spring workouts and everything, but if you just go back, and just watch him play ball, it's pretty fun. And, you know, his head coach, you know, was pretty adamant about him being, you know, he's been a ton of NFL experience. You know, Butch is like adamant about this guy.
Jacob Martin, thoughts on him? I think he described himself as a tough ass guy.
Who did?
Jacob Martin, tough.
Oh yeah.
Tough ass or something.
Did he? That's what he said.
Something like that.
Yeah. Well, he's all about what we are. Really, he was a fit guy for us. A little bit undersized as a rusher, but I mean, huge motor, really tough. Just keeps coming. I mean, he's really fun to watch. Those guys that have that just natural passion for the game and just keep coming.
Leo?
Yeah, we'll start him there and see how that goes. Expect him to be a special teams contributor too. Like that about him. He's kind of got a linebacker body that plays in the numbers. I don't know what numbers you guys have on him, but he played in the 250s this year. There are some numbers that show him lighter than that, but he played in the 250s, runs 4.6, and just has a great motor. So we're going to find a spot for him.
Did it impress you or concern you that he played a conference title game with a broken foot?
I think impressive, pretty impressive.
It seems like that would be right in line with his mentality.
I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
Oh yeah, you would. You would.
I mean, yeah, I would.
Now that it's over, what you guys talked about earlier in the week about kind of narrowing the board a little bit, or making it a little bit harder for some. Can you tell the difference? I mean, could you tell the difference now that the draft is over?
Yeah, we could.
Yeah, I think it was really exciting to see that how clean it was. To me, to watch John's work that come together, and the board just kind of went down as the rounds went down, and in the last round, we just had fewer guys there than we normally have. Those guys were on different places of the board, but it was so clear and clean what we were doing. It made sense. I thought it was a fantastic setup for this go round.
A little bit more intense.
Yeah,
it was a little bit more intense because we had a lot less numbers.
So kind of more waiting to see specific guys you wanted to get maybe in the past.
It was just each guy was it was clear impact, as the areas cleared up on the board for us. But remember that it didn't change. I mean, we had the others on the sideboards were all, orchestrated to just move there when we needed to. And there's a lot of guys that got drafted that came off those boards, as always. And but it was really clear throughout the process where we were going. And I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, less accidental for them to drop. You know what I mean?
Disley's still relatively new to the tight end spot. How much more room do you think he still has to grow, and how do you view his receiving skills as part of his whole package?
His hands are awesome. Like, you can't even hear but we went, okay, he had a great combine, then Pete and I ran over for his pro day, and he was trying to decide if he was going to work out or not work out, and he ended up doing the receiving portion, and then he ended up doing the blocking stuff too, but like, you cannot hear the ball hit that guy's hands. As far as his physical makeup, I don't know. I mean,
I think we'll always try to add to his strength, and he's already 260-something pounds, so he doesn't have to get a lot bigger. But we just work on developing his strength and his mobility with that new strength. But
we definitely got to get him out of 98, though.
Yeah, we got to get that number off.
That number.
Yeah, we got to get that number off.
It's like a CFL number.
John, you talked about the upsets. Who was the player that you drafted that you felt, or that you were most surprised felt to you when they did?
She maybe.
Yeah, probably Rasheem.
Yeah, he's a really good ball player. We're really excited about this guy.
And Shaquem, we didn't know where he was going.
Yeah, we didn't know.
Those two guys stand out.
Around the nation, you're going to be seen as the team that gave not only Shaquem his chance in the NFL, but to reunite with his brother. And do you welcome that, and you want to champion that now that once he gets here and play that up, or are you going to just treat him like a regular football?
I would say we don't want to play it up at all. I mean, it's the story that's it's already told and all that. It'll be fun to see how it unfolds, but he's coming in to play football, but it's obvious that there will be some falling because it's a real life drama, and so we'll, as we always have, we're going to contribute in ways to support these guys through the process, and I think it's worthwhile because of the lessons and the teachings that those guys will be able to share and demonstrate. It's a worthwhile story that I'm not going to mind keeping it alive. We're not going to dwell on it, and we're not going to spend a bunch of time trying to get something out of it. It's a fantastic story because it's a real life situation, and so we'll just support it. I think hopefully with care and good consideration and all that. But we got ball and football. That's why he's coming here, and he knows that, and he's as tuned in football player as you can get. And but we'll try not to let it get the best of us in any way.
Do you have a sense of all around the league how many teams would have just taken him off the board and not even given him consideration unless they got?
I don't. I didn't get that. I didn't get that feeling at all. Again, he's one of those. It's talking to some of my buddies. It's kind of like, well, how, where, when. And the guy ran 4.36.
Yeah. And
he's like, what, 15 pounds heavier than his brother or something?
Yeah.
Maybe more.
Would you draft if you didn't get invited to the combine?
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with it.
Obviously, you guys aren't done doing stuff, but where you guys are at roster-wise right now, maybe compared to at the end of the year or this time a year ago? How do you feel about it?
Well, I was kind of really impressed with the energy of the guys, the free agents that we're talking to right now to join the club. We're going to get a really good list of guys here that we can't talk specifically about, but just judging from how they've responded, they see opportunity, they want to be part of it. It's not a tough sell for us, and we've got some guys that can come in here and run really fast at the positions they play at. They're going to be excited to see how they can figure in. We have always welcomed the opportunity for free agents in our program. Half of our club has basically been free agents for years, and never by design, but that's just happened through the competitive approach. And guys have just made it to the top, and they've battled their way through it. The height, weight, speed thing is a big part of this, but the heart can't be overlooked as the biggest factor in who these guys are and what they have to prove. And I'd like to think that that's always been something that's been really built into our program, and we're going to hopefully see that demonstrated again.
Pete, you mentioned it's not a tough sell. How much does your guys' history help in those phone calls that you have history developing in the draft guys?
Well, maybe they're fooling me. I don't know by the phone calls, but I was just on tons of calls just now. The guys are really excited about it. They know us. They've grown up watching us, and they know the area. They know what the stadium looks like. The fans, the 12s. They know that. They know the story, and so they seem, highly enthused about being part of it. So we still have to do the bargaining and all that. With the money that we pay them and all that. But it's pretty obvious, following.
But just the factor of undrafted guys in the past who have had success.
Yeah, that's all part of it. That comes up in the recruiting part of this, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've told people that Curse and Baldwin started for us in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
They're rookie free agents. You too can be the same.
Yeah.
Anything else? Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging
Thanks
in all
for bearing with us all weekend.